Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good luck sleeping. You're watching PNT. I'm your host, Guaranteed Fresh. Up front this week, according to an article published by the Huffington Post, and in what is either a first step towards an incredible future or inevitable servitude to our robot overlords, the world's first robotic police unit has been deployed at a Dubai shopping mall. Local police have nicknamed the official enforcer Robocop after the eponymous movie of 80s fame. The unit, manufactured by PAL Robotics of Barcelona, includes features such as the ability to scan a person's face from 100 feet away and a built-in touchscreen to allow shoppers to both report crimes and to pay for their traffic tickets. Most commonly used to provide directions and to complement passers-by, the robot's defensive or offensive capabilities seem to be limited to a stern warning, for the moment. Dubai police plan to have the first fully robotic police station in operation by 2030, but serious ethical and moral questions remain. How will robots physically enforce the law? What is the legality of a machine taking a human into custody? Is it possible for a machine to emulate the honed instinct and experience of a human under chaotic circumstances? Unsettling questions to be certain, but ones that must be asked as our technology threatens to outpace our wisdom. From androids to alligators, our next story takes us to Orlando, Florida, where a 10-year-old girl has proven herself a true level-headed badass by forcing an alligator attacking her to let go. According to the article by the Huffington Post, witnesses state the girl was wading in shallow waters in a designated swim area in Orlando's Lake Mary Jane when the 8-foot-long alligator suddenly bit the girl's leg and would not let go. Despite screaming in pain, the plucky 10-year-old remembered the information she had received during a visit to nearby Gatorland and socked the alligator straight in the nose before pulling downwards on its lower jaw. The alligator, apparently stunned by its prey-turning predator, let go of its hold on her lower thigh, allowing her to escape. Witnesses whisked the girl to safety, and she was treated for puncture wounds at a nearby hospital. The gator was captured shortly after and was removed from the lake in Moss Park. Professional alligator wrangler Donald Aldarelli lauded the girl's cool head and tactics against the beast, as well as her ability to pry open the gator's mouth. To get an animal with the strongest bite on the planet to let go of you is a miracle, stated Aldarelli. Finally, in what could equally be described as part endurance feat and part performance art, a French artist has emerged relatively unscathed from living for a week inside of a giant rock. The performance artist spent 7 days inside the boulder, which had been split in half and a space inside carved out. On February 22nd, artist Abraham Ponchevel entered the rock with supplies of food and water and had the two halves pushed shut again, entombing him within the art exhibit he calls Stone at Paris's Palais de Tokyo Museum. Breathing oxygen through air holes and storing his bodily waste in bottles, Ponchevel emerged from the boulder after a week's time dazed, but otherwise intact. "I thank it very much," Ponchevel stated, referring to the rock, "for having been so enthusiastic about welcoming me." Out of respect for art lovers in our audience, PNT will refrain from making the obvious joke about artists being stoned. And now, PNT is pleased to bring you our weekly report. Faithful viewers will recall last week's report on the remarkable July 4th, 1947 Portland UFO wave. In reconstructing the cases found in the Project Sign archives, PNT has discovered that the Portland incident, following hard on the heels of Kenneth Arnold's Mount Rainier sighting and occurring but mere days before the Muroc incident, was only a small part of a much larger pattern. We begin a mere 2 days after the Portland incident on the 4th of July weekend's final day, Sunday, July 6th, 1947. 1:45 p.m. 100 miles west of Kansas City, Missouri. Air Corps Major Archie B. Browning, piloting his B-25 at an altitude of 10,000 feet, notices a very bright object low and to his left, approximately 10 miles distant from his aircraft. Thinking that perhaps what he was seeing was the top of a water tank, Browning pays no mind. After checking his position and making routine adjustments, he looks to his left again and sees a round disc-shaped craft, very bright and silvery colored, flying 1 to 2 miles off of his left wing in the 11 o'clock position at an altitude of 11,000 feet. Nearly blinded by the brightness of the craft, Major Browning manages to estimate the diameter of the object at nearly 50 feet. For several moments, Browning watches in amazement as the UFO matches speed and course with the B-25. Eager to get a closer look, Browning turns the plane towards the UFO, only to see it accelerate and vanish from sight. Mid-afternoon, FAIRFIELD-SUISUN Army Air Base, California. Air Corps Captain James H. Burniston observes an object in the sky at an altitude of 10,000 feet traveling in a southeast direction at a high rate of speed. For a full minute, the astonished airman watches as the thin, disc-shaped craft moves from horizon to horizon, appearing to roll from side to side at least 3 times. As it rolls, one side of the craft reflects the brilliant mid-afternoon sunshine, while the other side of the craft appears to absorb the light. Burniston later estimates the size of the object to be about that of a C-54 airplane. Early evening, 2636 Magnolia Avenue, Los Angeles, California. Mr. Leonore Corey is waiting at his neighborhood bus stop when his attention is caught by what appeared to be milky white rays in the sunlight which seemed to cross and recross each other like searchlights at night. The rays were close set together and appeared to converge at a common point of origin. In the center of the craft were spinning objects of some red substance about the color of the semi-precious stone carnelian. Appearing as sharp, irregular fragments, the shards shone with light and appeared to rotate in the same manner that iron filings being pulled by a magnet exhibit. After looking away for a moment, the witness spots the craft again, observing it for a few moments before it finally vanishes. Queried by Project Sign personnel, Mr. Corey later speculated that he thought perhaps he had seen some sort of new ray-based warfare, but did not think, quote, "Our army would shoot deadly rays over a crowded highway," unquote. 10:45 p.m., 1354 Meadow Lane, Green Acres, Birmingham, Alabama. Staff Sergeant Ira L. Livingston is called outside by his neighbor, Herman M. Sockwell, to witness some flying discs. The objects were to the west of Birmingham, traveling towards the southeast. A pilot and gunner with over 250 flight hours logged, Livingston estimated their altitude at 2,000 feet and their speed at 500 to 600 miles per hour. The craft were round, approximately 2 foot in diameter, and emitted a dim glow. The two men watched in amazement as a silent swarm of lighted objects moved about. The objects often appeared to be traveling in an arc, and as soon as one was out of sight, another would appear behind it, but not always in the same path. One seemed to rise straight up from behind a nearby house before hovering at 2,000 foot and moving off in the same direction as the others. Livingston stated that while he did not at any time see more than one object, he was inclined to believe that there were 7 to 10 separate objects total. As we can see from the above reports, the July 4th holiday weekend was witness to a flurry of UFOs, the like of which had never been seen. From Washington to Oregon to California, Missouri, and Alabama, strange craft were reported in the skies over the United States. Newspapers began to take notice, and soon reports of other sightings began to show up on the front pages. As government authorities were scrambling to keep a lid on Roswell, the visitors continued to pursue their own mysterious agenda throughout the remainder of July. Tune in next time as we continue to examine the Project Sign archives and bring you this remarkable sequence of events. Like pieces in an otherworldly jigsaw puzzle, the mountain of data accumulating suggests that during the hot summer months and throughout the remainder of 1947, something or someone came to visit planet Earth. What they were, where they were from, and what they wanted are mysteries that remain to be explored. As always, PNT encourages you to investigate for yourself and make up your own mind. If you have had a paranormal experience yourself, or have further information on any of our stories, PNT wants to hear from you. Please contact us at the links found below in the description, and we'll do our best to investigate your story, PNT style. We thank you for watching and ask that you click like, share, and subscribe below. I'm your host, reminding you to keep an open mind, because a closed one shuts out the truth.